Okay. I'm going. I'm going. Good grief. My goodness. Apparently there's some big NASCAR announcement today, and there's some big JRM announcement, and of course, the first instinct everyone has when there's some major NASCAR news incoming and JRM has an announcement, everyone says it's going to be JRM to Cup. Junior Motorsports is going Cup racing. I've been saying it for years, guys. It's not happening. It's not happening, okay? So stop getting your hopes up. Good grief. Let's see what this is. Cody Ware is full-time in the 51. Major news here. Yes, what I said to you is true. Cody Ware is going to be in the 51 full-time. We're going to have to stop that for a minute. We'll talk about that later. But yes, I have been saying for years, every time Junior Motorsports has an announcement, it is not that they are going Cup racing. So can we please calm down? For the first time ever, I am wrong. Junior Motorsports is going Cup racing. Now it is currently scheduled for one race, but they are in fact going Cup racing. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 16, I lost count of how many most popular drivers he won. The two-time Daytona 500 champion, won over 25 races in his Cup Series career, won a couple of Xfinity championships, and has been a car owner in the Xfinity Series. He owns a late model team, Junior Motorsports. They've won 4 Xfinity titles. They've won 88 Xfinity races. They've won over 100 late model races. They've dipped their water in a couple of different things. But one thing they have never done is the NASCAR Cup Series. Dale Jr.'s been asked about it for years. Are you going Cup racing? Who would be the driver? When are you going to do it? What kind of support do you need? And Dale Jr. has continuously, him and his sister Kelly, have continued to say no, it's not happening. If something comes about, sure, we might do it, but nothing's come about. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of dedication. We're fine. We're happy with our Xfinity team being a championship contender there. Well, today, they announced that they are going Cup racing in the Daytona 500. Once again, it's currently slated to be a one-off race, but it is still a Junior Motorsports car owned by Dale Earnhardt Jr., co-owned by his sister Kelly. They are entering into the Daytona 500 with driver Justin Allgaier. Justin Allgaier, fresh off of the Xfinity Series championship, an Xfinity lifer who has fought so hard, who has come so close to the Xfinity championship, finally wins his Xfinity championship. And how is he rewarded? He gets the Cup Series, the first ever Cup Series start in Junior Motorsports history at the Daytona 500. Now, Justin Allgaier, he has made plenty of Cup Series starts, 82 to be exact, but he's, as I said, he's been an Xfinity Series lifer. He's got over 450. He has 471 starts in the Xfinity Series. So yeah, for Junior Motorsports, for Dale Jr., I think the easiest pick was Justin Allgaier. He's your veteran. He's your guy. He's been a reserve driver for Hendrick Motorsports for years now. Remember last year, he ran the Coke 600 for Kyle Larson until it got rain shortened. And he subbed for Jimmy Johnson before. He subbed for other drivers, I believe. But Junior Motorsports, they have been kind of the pipeline to Hendrick, Chase Elliott, William Byron. We saw Noah Gragson sub for Alex Bowman. We saw Josh Berry sub for Chase Elliott. So Junior Motorsports, they've kind of had that Chevy-Hendrick connection, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But first, there's another little twist to this entry, and it has to do with the sponsor and the funding of this car. It's by Chris Stapleton, who, I got to be honest, I did not know who that was before this, which I'm going to get yelled at. Sorry I don't listen to country music, guys. I'm sorry. I know NASCAR fans love them. I'm just not a country music guy. Anyways, on to the statement. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Chris Stapleton joined forces for historic entry in the 2025 Daytona 500 with Junior Motorsports. Junior Motorsports today announced that NASCAR Hall of Famer and 2-time Daytona 500 winner Dale Earnhardt Jr., along with 10-time Grammy Award-winning singer, songwriter, and musician Chris Stapleton, have come together to field the inaugural entry for JRM in the NASCAR Cup Series in the 2025 running of the Daytona 500. In partnership with Buffalo Trace Distillery, the world's most award-winning distillery, JRM will field a number 40 Traveler Whiskey Chevrolet inspired by the Blend 40 utilized in every bottle of Traveler for their maiden voyage in the Great American Race, with the reigning and defending NASCAR Xfinity Series champion Justin Allgaier behind the wheel. "We've been waiting for the right moment for Junior Motorsports," said Dale Earnhardt Jr., "With Justin winning the Xfinity Series championship and Chris Stapleton's undeniable star power, the planets aligned for this perfect opportunity to enter this year's Daytona 500. Traveler Whiskey joining Junior Motorsports for their inaugural entry into the Cup Series at the Daytona 500 feels like a very natural partnership," said Stapleton. "I'm honored to be a part of this historic moment with Dale and Kelly, and excited to see Justin race the number 40 Traveler Whiskey Chevrolet in Daytona." Piloting the number 40 Traveler Whiskey Chevrolet for JRM is the organization's most decorated driver in Allgaier. Allgaier from Riverton, Illinois, is the defending NASCAR Xfinity Series champion, a 5-time most popular driver in the Xfinity Series, as voted on by the fans, the all-time NASCAR Xfinity Series leader in top 10 finishes, and JRM's all-time leader in wins. Additionally, Allgaier is a previous competitor in the Cup Series, having raced full-time at the highest form of North American motorsports during the 2014 and 15 seasons. The veteran driver most recently competed at the Cup level during the 2024 season in substitution for 2021 Cup Series champion Kyle Larson at Charlotte Motor Speedway, taking the checkered flag in the 13th position. "This is an incredible honor to be driving Junior Motorsports' inaugural entry into the Cup Series, and to do it with not only Dale and Kelly, but Chris Stapleton and Traveler Whiskey makes this even more special," said Allgaier. "Entering into the Daytona 500 has been a goal of this company for a long time, and I know that we are going to have everything we need to go out and contend for the win. This is going to be special for sure." JRM's quest for the Daytona 500 marks the first time that Earnhardt Jr. and Earnhardt Miller have entered a race in the NASCAR Cup Series as team owners. So yeah, there you got it. It's happening. Justin Allgaier is going to be driving a Junior Motorsports car, also in the Xfinity Series, but in the NASCAR Cup Series in the Daytona 500. Quick note, no, this does not impact Justin Allgaier's Xfinity Series career. He will still be racing in Xfinity. He will still be fighting for an Xfinity Series championship Saturday, I think it's February 15th. Saturday, February 15th, he will still be racing for the win in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But his speed weeks have gotten a little bit more busy. Now, you got to remember, this is an open car. It is not guaranteed a spot in the field. Right now, our entries into the Daytona 500, we got our 36 chartered cars. We've got Helio Castroneves in the 91. He's guaranteed a spot whether he qualifies or not. So it's a 41 car or 40 car field based off how Castroneves does. But the other open cars we have are JJ Elliott in the 44. We got BJ McLeod in the 78, Anthony Alfredo in the 62 for Beard Motorsports. And then we got a few unknowns. The 66 of MBM Motorsports, they were going to enter with Mike Wallace, but now they don't have Mike Wallace anymore, so they got to find a new driver. The second Rick Ware racing car, that's an open car now. Who could be racing there? Or will they enter a car? Jimmy Johnson, is he going to enter the race? And then there's Martin Truex Jr., who is expected to make a start with Tricon Garage. So that's 9. 9 cars for 4 spots. That's a lot of pressure. Now, one thing that Junior Motorsports will have on its side, Jenna Fryer did a report on this story, and she said that Junior Motorsports will have a Hendrick-powered engine. That's a really big deal. And that's what I wanted to talk about earlier, because I have a question. I don't know. No one's going to answer it. No, I don't think anyone from NASCAR officials are watching this, but there's a rule that you can only have 4 cars in the field. You can't have 5. So my question is, because I think Rick Hendrick technically still owns a minority stake in Junior Motorsports, or he still owns an Xfinity car. So is that a conflict of interest? Is that a 5th Hendrick car? I know it's owned by JRM. It's operated by JRM, but they're going to have a Hendrick engine. And I know Hendrick has some overlap, like they help each other, JRM and Hendrick. So is that I'm probably bringing that up for the wrong reasons. I probably shouldn't have brought it up, but it's a question I have. But anyways, as I said, Hendrick and JRM have connections. I already told you about the substitute driver role. The reserve driver at Hendrick Motorsports is always a JRM driver, whether it's Gregson, Barry, Allgaier, you name it. The reserve driver is usually a Hendrick or a JRM driver. So it makes sense for JRM to have a Hendrick engine because they've got a lot of connections, as I said. But this is a massive deal for NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is still arguably the most recognizable face in NASCAR. He's been retired for almost 8 years now. He retired at the end of 2017. It's 2025, so 8 seasons he's been retired. Sorry, 7 seasons. Math is hard. But he's been retired for 7 seasons now, and he still owns a team in the Xfinity Series. He's on TV. He's going to be on Prime and TNT this year. He's previously been with NBC. He's a very recognizable face. The name Earnhardt still holds a lot of power to casual NASCAR fans or non-NASCAR fans. They hear Earnhardt, they immediately think of Dale Earnhardt. They know Dale Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. It's a powerful name. It's a strong name with Dale Jr. still having a stronghold in NASCAR. And it's not like he pops in for every few races. He shows up, gets some pictures taken, signs some autographs. He's fully invested in NASCAR. He owns an Xfinity team. He owns not just a NASCAR team, but he owns a late model team. He is fully invested in racing, and he's now going cup racing. It's going to be a very big deal. It's going to be a highly anticipated start, regardless of how Allgaier does. It's a very big deal. I really can't say enough how big of a deal this is for NASCAR. Now, we've had a bunch of big names in NASCAR before. I mean, look at Helio Castroneves. He's going to be entering into this Daytona 500. We've had Kimi Räikkönen. He's made a couple of starts. We've seen a bunch of supercars drivers come over here. SVG's made the full transition. We've seen their most recent champion, Will Brown. Brody Kostecki, their second to last champion. We've seen a lot of big name drivers from all over the globe come and do a one-off, do a few starts, which is still a really big deal for NASCAR, and I really want to see that from everywhere. I want to see drivers from all over come over to NASCAR because it's a really big deal for NASCAR. But this in itself is a very big deal for a different reason. Now, yes, Dale Jr. is not driving the car, but his name's on the car. He owns the car. I'm sure he's going to be there, and it's his guy, Justin Allgaier, who has been with JRM, who's been loyal to JRM for so long, and that's a guy that people associate with JRM and Dale Jr., Justin Allgaier. So I think it's a really big deal for NASCAR. Maybe not to the level of an international driver, but once again, that is a name that everyone, when they think of NASCAR, they think of Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt Jr. I think this is a really exciting opportunity. This is a really exciting thing. I'm curious to see how competitive this car is. I know they're going to have a Hendrick engine. So I'm curious to see, once again, if they qualify on speed. If they qualify on speed, that takes a ton of stress off of Thursday. Wednesday, you qualify. If you make it, one of the open cars who makes it, Thursday's a stress-free day. Go have fun at the duels. Go race. Go learn about your car. Don't wreck it, but have fun. Learn about the car. And then Sunday is the big one, the Daytona 500. But this, once again, is a massive deal. As for the Chris Stapleton part, once again, couldn't tell you who he was. If you showed me a picture, I would not have guessed. I had to Google. But he's a big name in the country music world. I saw that 10-time Grammy nominee or something like that. So that's a really big deal. I know he has a big fan base, and I'm sure some of his fans are going to see, oh, his brand of whiskey's on the car. Oh, he's, helping fund this car. That's kind of cool. Chris Stapleton, he'll probably be at the race if I had to guess. So maybe that'll pull in some fans. So that's a cool aspect as well. But Junior Motorsports, after years of me denying it, they have said, no, you are wrong for the first time ever. Okay, they're not actually talking to me, but I like to think of it that way. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. Any other news that comes up? I forgot to talk about Cody Ware. All right, let's fit in Cody Ware here. Cody Ware is going to be in the 51 next year. Cody Ware, I will say, statistically, last year was his best season. He made 9 starts, had an average finish of 21st. Cody Ware did decent last year. I will say, Cody Ware gets a lot of hate, He's the owner's son and all this, but I'm going to defend Cody Ware this one time. He had a pretty good season last year. I know he only raced for a quarter of it, but he actually showed some strength last year. So I'm actually kind of curious to see what he can do in a full season. See what he can do next year. Rick Ware Racing's improved. This is a big year for Cody Ware. And, once again, he's the owner's son. And even if he has a bad year, he might get extended. He might stay in the 51 car. But with how much Rick Ware Racing's improved, I'm actually genuinely curious and kind of excited to see how Cody Ware does next year. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Junior Motorsports is going cup racing. Justin Allgaier is the driver. It's sponsored by Chris Stapleton and his whiskey brand. But it's a big news story today. Big news story today. So let me know what your thoughts are. I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. We're only a couple of weeks away from the Clash, so that's exciting. But thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Daytona 500. That entry list is filling up.